This is a book for beginners, a children's tale for the old, for those whose hearts have been buried, then dug up again to find gold. For a moment, let me rewind. Let me tell you about the angels.
Somebody, won't you ease my discomfort? Oh, our misery.
It's okay if you think I'm nuts. I actually was nuts at this point, so it makes little difference. This story is about a journey of forgiveness. So let me tell you how I began. Let me go back to the days immediately after I learned the news of my friend's betrayal. The night the news came, I didn't sleep. Time seemed to drip by and then race away like a hare. I was lost in a trance, wandering in circles, bewildered. Shock and endless questions came tumbling, one over another in their rush to crowd my mind. Reality was not what I had known until now. I had been deceived, and everything I thought I'd known for sure was unravelling inside me. Up was down, and the sky was no longer blue. 3 days passed in a foggy haze of smoking and sobbing. At one point, I remember I went looking for my loved one, afraid they might physically harm themselves. They were so sorry, so ashamed, and like me, so afraid of their own destructive behaviour. The hours passed, and all the while, two opponents raged within me, tearing me apart, to hate or to love the one I loved. I had no actions for either of these concepts, no way to play them out because both were now true. I hated and I loved you, my dear. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, on the third day of agony, in the midst of my fog, a tiny light. A flame flickered in my mind. I remembered Christ and his teaching of forgiveness. It came like the smallest thought, the chime of a bell far off. A quiet whistle in the darkness, a melody you've known but somehow forgotten, that lets you know you're not alone. If you want to, you could forgive this. As gentle as light, it landed in my mind. There was no pressure in the statement. It wasn't a mandate, just the offering of a way to go. A path to follow that could possibly hold these vast polar opposites I now knew. Love and hate. It was the beginnings of an answer, an action I could take, an inkling of a way out or through, an escape route from the horror of utter hatred. I could hate you and love you and fulfill both, admit both to be true. I could forgive you. Maybe.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, could there ever be enough forgiveness for all of this? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, could there ever be enough forgiveness for all of this? Bags and bags and bags and bags of petty resentments I've been holding against you for years. Piles and piles and piles of things you may or may not have said or even thought about me. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, will there ever be enough forgiveness for all of this?
To help myself choose a direction, I wrote my friend a message. I asked 2 questions, one about the past and one about the future. Did you plan this to hurt me? Do you think you could promise not to do it again? The idea that I had been plotted against by one I loved was agony. The thought that they might do it again, doubly so. They replied within the hour. I made my choice quickly, desperate to catch my breath and shift myself out from under the great weight that was crushing me. Truth be told, I would have given anything to ease the jarring pain, to shelter myself from the shattering shockwaves of betrayal. So I grasped wholeheartedly at this offer of an out and chose forgiveness that day, in the desperate hope that it would lead me back towards sanity. Do you remember, my love? I found you in the back garden. You were smoking too, leaning against the wall of the house. You looked pale and drained and so anxious, riddled with pain. There were no words. All we could do was stare, blankly at the ground and then blankly back at one another, lumps like knives in our throats. I wanted to hug you and hold you, to cry all over you and baptize you in hot tears. I wanted you to swear that you loved me and that our friendship was real, that it was solid and golden and good. I wanted to kick and scream and beat you till you bled, to wring an answer out of you, to make you tell me why, to force you to explain, to spit and cry and kick and pour my hatred out on you. But I did neither of those things. I just stood there, loose and weak, all my joints like jelly. I felt barely knit together, like I might dissolve into liquid and melt away to nothing at any moment. I had decided I need to forgive you, I said. The words rolled out my mouth like rocks, so large the syllables of love and forgiveness, of redemptive choice. It took all the muscles of my jaw, my aching face to heave them up and out. I was choking up boulders, gagging on their jagged edges, daggers inside my mouth. Heavy they dropped to the floor. Waves of relief soared through me as the great weight dropped away and my loved one slumped down on the ground and sobbed. I walked away. In the hallway I collapsed in tears too, leaning against the wall, sobbing, my grief, both bitter poison and tears of relief, rattling and pouring out from me. When I heard a sound, not just with my ears, but with my whole being, it shook through me. I heard singing. I heard shouting, I heard stomping, mighty feet, the roar of many mighty feet crashing down again and again. I heard crying, hollering, clapping, a raucous, joyful noise spilling forward. I heard music, then more music behind it, layer upon layer. And I heard words. Words pounded out over and over in the thunderous rhythm of those feet. Words soaring high in the crying melody of their song. Words crashing out in the lightning crack of their hands. It wasn't in vain God came to us. It was for this. Sounds mad, but like I said, I was mad at the time. I wouldn't go so far as to need anyone to believe this part of my story. Perhaps it's mine, just for me, and maybe that's okay. Some things are real, and some things our minds create to bring us comfort, make us feel valuable, or help us keep safe. I have peace with all those ideas. This wasn't an experience I was expecting. The feet of angels weren't anything I can recall thinking about before in life. I was shattered and broken to pieces, sleepless and starving and in far too much pain to be considering anything celestial at that point. But suddenly, in the hallway, there they were, peals of thunder rolling through me while I wept and shook. And I reflect on this experience now, it comes to me like this. Perhaps I created this moment in my imagination, a necessary disassociation to keep me safe. Water for my desperate thirst, my need to feel that all this had a purpose, that I am part of a larger picture of love and recreation. Perhaps my angels were a culmination of all the storybook archetypes, the heroes who have come to the aid of us mortals throughout the ages, our Gandalfs and Dumbledores, our fairy godmothers, the genie from the lamp who appears in moments of need to cheer us on and grant our wishes, the gods who bring us help. Or perhaps, if there are higher beings in our universe, creatures of goodness and light, otherworldly ones, what some call angels. Maybe they are always, outside of our time, rejoicing in the goodness of life. Maybe they are always shouting yes to any ounce of love and forgiveness in the universe, just as we, lesser beings, weep with joy at newborn babies or smile at the loyalty of a beloved pet. Maybe in that moment my hungry, exhausted body tuned into their frequency, or perhaps the sky just opened over me, so I could hear their voices and find some relief. Truth be told, I had no idea the decision I had made. The journey of forgiveness is just that, a long-ass, painful, wearisome, beautiful, scenic, breathtaking, foot-tired, back-breaking journey. It's like Frodo and Samwise taking the ring to Mordor. It seems to never end.
Unclench your jaw, love. Let go your fear.
Again and again, as the months and then years went by, to lesser degrees with time, I will admit, I found myself untrusting, resenting, hating, creating a case in my mind for accusation and revenge. I had made a choice to forgive, but there were still 1,000 tons, years and years worth of consequences for their actions in both our lives and the lives of our families. The explosion was so widespread. I had to meet each one like a hurdle, constantly leaping, often falling flat on my face, desperately trying not to let hate tear me down again and again.
I can see your brow, love.
I called myself bereaved, barren, exiled, rejected. I was forgotten, a piece of shit. Frequently I hated the one who had hurt me. I hated myself for being unable to forgive. I rejected myself daily and then found God's grace and forgiveness over and over and over and over.
Unclench your jaw, love. Let go your fears. Trouble and hardship can't reach you here. Anxiety, love, it must flee from here. Unclench your jaw, love. Let the angels draw near. This too shall pass, love, and there will come a day when this time of trouble seems so far away, and peace and joy, love, will catch you here. Unclench your jaw, love. Let the angels draw near. Unclench your jaw, love. Let go your fears. Trouble and hardship can't reach you here. Anxiety, love, must flee from here. Unclench your jaw, love. Let the angels draw near. The space between you and me is sacred ground. The devil alone it fears to tread Here only rest is found. The space between you and me is sacred ground. The devil only fears to tread. Here only rest is found. Here